Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You're knowing what you're wanting?
Yes.
For now? It moves around, doesn't it? Your desire just keeps expanding. Are you able to keep up with your desire? Well, that's the work, isn't it? Because life is going to continually call new desire from you. It's just the nature of this expanded, leading edge, time-space reality that you are focused in. We call a lot of things real that you don't call real because we know that there is a vibrational version that is real that happens before the version that you want to call real happens. Really. We want to talk about that vibrational version, and in the hours that we are together today, it is our desire that you become as happy, exhilarated really, about the vibrational reality as you are about the manifested, actualized, demonstrated reality. Because when you reach that place, that realization of the vibration and the subsequent wonderful emotions that come from that, when that becomes a high priority for you, then all of the manifestations, all of the things that you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, then they begin to flow easily into your experience. And of course, we know that that's what humans think they mostly want. It isn't, but it is what you think you mostly want. You want the dollars in your bank account. You want the money in your hands so that you can exchange it for things that you want. You want your lovers to be tangible, to be seeable and hearable and smellable and tasteable and touchable. You want the tangible demonstration of life. That's why you are who you are. You are extensions of source energy in your very real time-space reality. And we are not for a moment wanting to ask you to draw back from this manifested, materialized world, because it is an extension of the source. But there is an understanding that if you can get hold of it here today, some of you already have it, if you can get hold of this understanding that you are first and foremost vibrational beings living in a vibrational universe, and if you can for a little while put your physical senses on the back burner just a little bit and allow your emotional sense to come forth in a stronger way, where you care more about how you feel in a moment than you care about what's actually manifested that you might be seeing. We want you to become the aligner, the allower, the resonator. We want you to care about the resonance of your being. Now, what we mean by that is you were source energy before you came into this body. You've heard us say this so many times. You can speak it right along with us. Let's do it fast. You were source energy before you came into this physical body, and you came into it, you're doing it. You are really doing it. And a part of you came forth into this physical body, and here you are exploring this time, space, and reality. You know what you don't want, you know what you do want, and from this synthesizing of life through your unique and important perspective, you launch rockets of desire all day, every day. And by that we mean you have ideas of what would be an improvement for you, even if it is something as simple as an improved highway condition or an improved kitchen drawer where you can find something in it. You are looking for improvement all day, every day, and launching these vibrational requests. Now, most humans are not very excited about the vibrational request, but we want you to be excited about the vibrational request. And we promise you that you would become excited about the vibrational rocket of desire that emanates from you if you were consistently in vibrational alignment with that desire as you launch it. But you're usually not, but you could be, but you're usually not, but you could be. But if you were in vibrational alignment with the rocket that you launch, you would feel really good all of the time, because as you launch a desire that you're up to speed with, the ensuing emotion that you feel is one of elation, one of passion, one of exhilaration, one of interest. You just feel so good when you are in any moment up to speed with what you are vibrationally launching. So you've launched this rocket, and the larger part of you, that part of you that was in existence before you came into this body, who still is in existence in the non-physical realm, even though you are in this body, you want to call that your soul. We like to refer to it as your inner being, that source within you. That non-physical part of you exists simultaneously with this physical part of you. And when you are aligned with that non-physical part of you, you feel so good. You feel frisky and clear-minded. You feel sure of yourself. You feel love. You feel all of those things that you would describe as feeling good. But when you're not up to speed with that, and it's easy not to be, but we'll help you to be more up to speed with it more of the time. It's easy not to be up to speed with it when you're not up to speed with that further, most expanded part of you, which you just caused to become more expanded because of the rocket that you just launched. When you're not up to speed, you feel negative emotions. So your emotions are your indicator of your allowing, of your resonance, of your being fully present. Now, the source within you is always looking to you and through you. Sometimes you get that. Have you ever just had an idea that was so brilliant that you just knew it came from some broader perspective? So two things happened in that moment of that brilliant idea. One thing that is happening all the time is that Source is right there with you, knowing what you're living and flooding the best idea in this scenario that is available into all of the universe. That's the first thing that happens, but it happens whether you know that it's happening or not. But the fact that you realized the idea, the fact that you felt the idea, and when it felt wonderful when you realized it, that means that the second thing has happened, and that is you're up to speed with who you really are. And that's what you're wanting more of the time. That's what you're wanting most of the time. That's what Esther is wanting all of the time. When you get tuned in to this high frequency, you become intolerant of hanging around in lower frequencies. And we don't want you to be intolerant in the sense that you throw little fits or big ones. We want you to be discerning. That's a better word. Discerning. We want you to care about how you feel. In fact, we want you to care so much about how you feel that it becomes your top priority. Because when how you feel becomes your top priority, and you are armed with tools to help you line up with this high frequency, pure positive energy. When you know how to do that, then you are in this moment living happily, and in the next, and in the next, and in the next, until you get that happily ever after thing going pretty well. We've been telling you, you've been listening to us for a while, haven't you? We can tell because you're up to speed. We can feel you coming right along with us. So we're going to make this introduction brief before we turn it over to the madness of your world. So, as you're exploring the variety that surrounds you and you're launching these rockets, there is this expansion that is taking place within you. And the question that we want to ask all day, every day is, are you keeping up with your own expansion? And the answer is yes if you feel wonderful, not so much if you are not feeling wonderful. You can tell by the way you feel. The way you feel is an indicator of one thing and one thing only. It's an indicator of you keeping up with your own expansion. It's an indicator of whether you are in this moment perceiving whatever it is that you are giving your attention to in the same way that the source within you is perceiving it. So when you care about how you feel, you're coming into perfect alignment with who you really are. And nothing short of that will be enough for you. So if you've been listening to us for a while, you've been hearing us talking about law of attraction, and you've been hearing us talking about launching these rockets, and we've been telling you that You've been sending out a vibrational version of what you want, and that the source within you is standing in this vibrational reality. We've given it the name the vortex. In fact, we wrote an entire book about the vortex because we wanted to get your attention upon this vibrational reality that you have created that really is who you are, this vibrational version of you to which you want to achieve vibrational alignment. We so want you to know about that vibrational reality because we also want you to know that anything short of being a vibrational match to that vibrational reality, where source stands, where you have evolved to, anything short of that is a diminishment of your moment and doesn't have to be. You get to have all that you've asked for. You just have to figure out how to vibrationally do that. So then we began explaining to you that while there is this vibrational version of you, of all that you want, that when and only when you find vibrational alignment with that vibrational version, for example, if you've been asking for more money and you feel shortage today, maybe even afraid because a big bill came and you can't pay it, that feeling in your gut that you would describe as fear or uneasiness or disappointment, that feeling is your indicator that you're not up to speed with the money that's in your vibrational reality. The money that's in your vortex still stands there ready to be realized by you. But the fear in your belly is your indicator that you're not up to speed with it, and so it can't cross into your experience. It can't become realized by you. Now, creation is just about that. We want you to understand that all creation is about vibrational alignment. So now we want to say to you that every thought that you offer, whether it's something wanted or not wanted, creates a vibrational version of it that in the beginning does not have enough momentum to actualize into your experience. You've launched a lot of rockets of wanted and unwanted, and some of them have more momentum than others. But how they show up in your experience, how often they come, how steadily they're there, and how they feel when they get there, is all about the momentum, which is all about the air time. It's all about the think time. It's all about the talk time. It's all about the attention time. Biggest word, it's all about the focus that you have been giving to them, you see. So that's why we now want to talk to you about your point of attraction, because you have laid the pathways to all kinds of things, wanted and unwanted. The question is, which of those pipelines is wide open and delivering a lot of payload to you, and which of those pipelines is closed and not giving you anything? So we began talking about this point of attraction, reaching for different things to call it. For a while we called it the grid. No one really liked that word, the grid. But the grid is sort of a framework that will be filled in later with the details that you will call real life reality. It's sort of like the frame of the house before you put the roof on, before you put the walls up, before you put the pretty stuff in it. So you're standing in your point of attraction all the time. Now we've evolved this analogy to say to you that this grid is spinning because your point of attraction is gathering cooperative components, meaning gathering the components that equal who you are, and that there is a vibrational spinning grid that you could liken to the emotions on your emotional scale. In other words, there's that high-flying grid that feels like love and passion, eagerness, and there's that low-flying grid that feels like despair, grief, fear, and then there's the overwhelming grid. It occurred to Esther the other day that it's like the seven dwarfs. There's happy and grumpy, dysfunctional, passive aggressive. We're up to about 200 dwarfs now. But you know which grid you are. You know where you are. If ornery people seem to be everywhere you go, you just kind of got to admit that you're on the ornery disc. And you're having the ornery meeting with those others who have gathered there. So we're going to be talking here today about what you've got going on. You've got some habits of thought that aren't serving you. You've got some habits of thought that are serving you. You've got some dormant beliefs that don't affect you very often, but every now and again, one of them is activated by something you see or something that you hear, and then it begins to affect you for a little while. And we really want to call your attention to this really important thing, and that is your point of attraction is now. It's right now. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It only matters what you're doing vibrationally now.